This is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
In New Milford, Connecticut, certain crimes are especially
Don't tell
heinous.
them where we are, man. Now they're going to come find us. Who are you?
Downtown Andy.
Yeah, you are. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise.
Oh, we're going to use this one. All right.
Oh, yeah, well, no, there's no stopping it now. Discordant world. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome. How are you?
Especially heinous.
Yes, you are. I'm all right. I'm coming down from a day, freshly showered, no makeup, au naturel.
You look great.
Thanks. Oh man,
You're glowing right now.
I told you I'm bathed.
Yeah.
I'm bathed.
You're not sunburned. You're just a little,
I'm sun kissed.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the soda,
Oh.
like the orange soda.
I
feel like my hair still looks orange.
in this light, yes.
Ugh. Gross.
I'm a little like there's a I don't have a second cup of coffee during the day, least of all at nighttime.
I had a second cup of coffee too. That probably contributed to my jitters because it was weird because my heart rate was perfectly fine.
Second coffee doesn't give me jitters. Second energy drink gives me jitters. That's why I don't do that.
I got lightheaded, and then when I walked the dog, I felt like I was having a panic attack. But my heart rate was slow and steady, but I felt super jittery. So I was like, okay,
you can't,
almost like a head high.
You're not allowed to feel super jittery. You know why?
Why?
Because it goes against the rules.
No, it doesn't.
It sure does.
What are they, personal? Them's personal jitters.
That was
personal.
my segue.
But we do have rules here in the bubble, right?
For the sake of civility.
For the sake of civility, 3 rules. No judgment, nothing personal. Don't be a dick. What do you want to talk about?
Oh man,
what do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
Yeah.
I had a few things in mind over the weekend, and I completely forgot what they are. I thought of something about 30 seconds ago, and I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I could go on the fly. We could literally just make shit up as we go along.
Well, let me ask you something because it came up earlier, and we were talking about collections.
Collections.
We were because
like our collections.
Well,
or
not specifically our collections, but you were talking this morning. While I was working, you were talking about, like the value of certain things going up and, original card sets and stuff like that and like the monetary value on it.
You want to talk about that?
I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about cards. That's not the point. If you let me finish.
Oh, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I'll bet you will. But when it comes to, what are you doing? A mouth fart?
Letting you finish.
Well, don't die over there. Don't smother yourself, because that would be sad for me on our vacation time.
Those on audio.
When you collect something, do you collect it for sentimental reasons or for monetary investment? First
of 2 answers to that question. 1, both. Second, did we talk about collections before or collecting?
We talked about addictions. Which were really just collections because addictions are a problem. I said, that was earlier this year. No, very early this year we did an addiction episode where I had to.
We talked about frivolity.
I had to distinguish between the fact that I have a caffeine addiction. I have a shoe collection.
I think the majority of the world has a caffeine addiction.
At this point, absolutely.
Yeah, I think everyone at this point is addicted to caffeine, whether they realize it or not.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Because of the fact that, we can't seem to function at a certain level without it.
Well, I love the people who are like, I don't drink coffee, just energy drinks are the ones that get me. That's funny to me.
I don't know any of those.
That's funny to me. I'm just like, bro, do you know what you're doing?
Did I ever tell you
what's in my
that
coffee.
A couple of times I tried to quit coffee cold turkey because I just wanted to see what would happen?
That has to be like migraine city.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I've had to go like a few days without caffeine because of like surgical procedures or something like that. And it's...
I mean, this coffee is tasty. That's why I keep it. It has nothing to do with...
I'm not happy when I'm not caffeinated.
This is what's in this cup is my regular daily like morning coffee. But the thing is,
you're having it now? Oh my god, you're never gonna sleep.
I'm off this week. Let me enjoy my vacation.
So you don't want to sleep?
No,
not
sleep. At all. No. But what I was about to say is the fact that there is not enough caffeine in this coffee to get me wired, to get me awake, to get me jittery, to boost my energy. It just isn't.
You think
That's
you're
why
immune to it now.
Probably. I think I've consumed such a large quantity of caffeine at other points in the recent years that I require X amount of caffeine to function normally. This is not going to do it on its own.
Are we going to have to bring you down later?
Well, that's what Jack Daniels is for. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
All right. So back to my question.
Back to reality.
Yeah. When you collect, because you collect,
the answer was
you
both.
Would say yes. Now you collect several things.
Yes.
Now
guitars, trading cards, bottle caps.
But when
bodies.
When you collect them, do you distinguish between like attaining things for the purpose of your collection versus an investment?
There are certain things that cannot be resold. Literally cannot be resold because of the fact that they are either sentimental or because they don't retain enough value to be resold.
Okay. So, but
everything is for sale. Everything except for the sentimental.
Okay. So why not?
Why is it not for sale?
Why is there so much stock in the monetary value of something? Like if it's worth enough, you'll sell it.
Not that if it's worth enough. Like there's a varying degree of factors that go into that.
It seems to me like I understand the sentimental, that things that hold
like all
high sentimental value,
anything that was gifted to me cannot be sold.
Okay, but you don't,
I've already made that mistake.
You don't source these things. It seems to me, your wife, more often than not.
Oh my God. Are we having an intervention?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No. I didn't even write a letter or anything. No.
That's a thing?
And interventions? Oh, yeah. We'll watch that episode of How I Met Your Mother later.
No. I've seen enough Ted Mosby for this year.
Ted Bundy?
Ted Mosby.
Oh, that's different.
I'm more into Al Bundy.
When you make a purchase
yeah.
of a guitar or cards or something like that.
You mean like I've done recently?
Yes.
Okay.
You seem more often than not to be purchasing it, not because you want it, but because eventually you're just going to turn around and sell it.
Well, even the stuff that I want can be for sale because, like I've said a million times over, if I want another one, I'll get another one. Like,
but those things, I would not say you're collecting them then.
I mean, they are part of the collection for a time. Like, from the very beginning of this whole practice, people thought I was out of my mind. Everyone was largely angry with me, too. Like, mind you, these are things that I've spent my own money on, so nobody else has a hand in it. But people would get angry and very displeased with me for selling things that I bought for myself. They're just like, why would you do that? What is wrong with you? Like, it's some sort of, stigma or something.
Excuse you.
Thank you. Excuse me. This started back in I think it really began in 2013. In November of 2013, I bought a guitar that I had been chasing for a long time. I found a used, beat up Gibson Voodoo Les Paul, the first one. Yeah. And for a price that I felt comfortable paying, that I could afford and was okay because in the time since, those things have shot up in price.
Yeah.
And that was November. Come February. Now, I'm not a Les Paul player. I've never been a Les Paul player.
Right.
I found in February of the following year, so 3 months later, I found a guy who had the same version. He had a Flying V. He had a Voodoo Flying V.
Okay.
And I've always been, at least at that time, was a Flying V player.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he would do a straight trade, and sure enough, he did.
For the Voodoo.
So I traded the Voodoo Les Paul to him for the Voodoo V. Even swap, and everybody was like, "Why would you do that? You wanted that thing so." I'm like, "But this one's a Flying V. This one's also in better condition. It's got more features to it that are more desirable to me." And I'm just like, I'll be happy as a pig in shit. And I played that thing for a couple of months. And then I think I sold it to finance a purchase of a gun, maybe?
Okay.
I know everybody who's not a gun enthusiast is not.
All right.
Gun enthusiasts will understand.
That's fine.
And then I sold that gun, and that sale financed the purchase of another guitar.
Now, I understand these things. Okay?
Because my mindset at the time was, if I want another one, I'll buy another one.
And I understand that. But do you consider that collecting?
Yes.
To me, collecting
It's also investing.
See, to me, there's a difference.
There is a difference, yes.
Because when you collect something, you don't attain it with the intention of at any point getting rid of it.
It morphed over time in the sense that, and this is something a lot of my friends, some of whom have actually delved into this, to a lesser extent, didn't understand at the time, but grew to understand. I largely never took hits, meaning I never really sold things for less than what I paid for them. In fact, I actually sold them for quite a bit more than what I paid for them because those are the prices people were willing to pay. And once I saw there was money to be made off of it, I said, well, then this is really just what every single retailer in the world does. They buy their stock sourced from vendors or from distributors of this, that, and the other thing. And they have a cost, and then they have a markup, an overhead, and then they get their profit on it. So it's just a different. I was just doing the same thing as every other retailer in the world, just to a lesser extent.
Right, and I get that. Now, when you have bought cards, okay,
trading cards,
you bought trading cards, and you've bought them in. I'm not going to say in bulk, but like you've bought multiples and whatnot and everything. Like a new set came out, and it hasn't been so much lately.
I've done the same. But single
you've bought certain number of these, left them, stored them for the purpose of watching them grow in value for the distinct purpose of reselling at some point in the future.
You have to blame my mother for that.
And that's fine, Ma. But that to me is not collecting.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you.
Okay. Now,
your mother-in-law, as you know, bought a lot of things, not only for herself, but for us, with the express purpose of holding on to it for a long time because it'll be worth money someday. Like that was her famous tagline.
I get
it'll be worth money someday.
But that's not a collection.
In a manner of speaking, it is. You are whether you call it a collection or an inventory, it's still part of a mass of growth that you've accumulated over time what you choose to do with it is your business.
I was thinking about this in terms of...
Does this bother you?
No, I have a different perspective on it. We're here to disagree with each other.
I guess tonight we are.
Allow me. I was thinking about this with regards to art. People who are art collectors, right? People who you've seen, these people who buy the original pieces from the masters.
You're talking about art in the traditional sense. Pieces of art.
Art.
Art on canvas or some
sculpture and things of that nature from the masters throughout history, right? Picasso, Monet, all of this.
They just had the best publicists.
But
you could be a master.
I will be one day. But for now, let's talk about the ones who already exist. They're dead, they're gone and everything, and now their artwork is worth a fortune. And people go to extremes to collect it. Now,
does that mean people are going to pay premiums for your stuff when you're gone?
God willing. What the fuck was I talking? What was I saying?
We disagree. You have another way of thinking about it.
Okay, so some people who collect artwork, they put a premium on the monetary value of that piece. But others will collect the pieces that they are moved by. Okay?
Yep.
Now, all of these pieces have high resale value. They all hold a high monetary value. But not everybody buys, $1 million painting with the intent of, making $1 million off of it.
Well, let's be real. Not everybody can afford to do that.
No, but we're talking about the people who can. Okay? So let's dumb it down a little bit, right? Let's say...
On that note, I feel like there's what?
Well, I wasn't done.
Well, on just a real quick side note, I feel like there's too many euphemisms or like, words for these things, like premium or, whatever. It's just like, why not just call it for what it is? Why does there have to be like a unique term for these things?
What is so unique about that?
Well, think about it. Like if we say people are willing to pay a premium for a piece of art, does everybody know what that means? Probably not.
I blame the schools.
Anyway, continue.
What was I talking about?
People who are willing to pay $1 million.
Okay, let's dumb it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say...
Stop putting a pin in things.
Thank you. Let's say that you were to find a guitar, right? You were to find a guitar that is worth 10 grand.
Okay.
Okay. You find a guitar that's worth 10 grand. You're able to get it for 10 grand.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you know that because of the series or the model or the age or the make and everything like that of this guitar, that eventually it will become so rare that it will triple in value.
Mm-hmm.
And you hang on to it until it's worth 30 grand. But then you don't sell it. That to me is a collectible at that point. Is that it's not a matter of one of these days I'm going to make money off of this. Like that to me is the sign of a collectible. When you hold it because of its worth to you, whether it's monetary or sentimental, but you hang on to it.
I mean, I could give you examples, but, your interpretation, your perception of this is not, I don't see a flaw in it. I don't see a fault in it. It's just, I can think of people who would tell me I'm wrong for doing things the way I do them.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm trying to identify what it is that makes a collection to you.
To me, it's everything in this house is my collection. Whether or not it gets sold, it's still part of my collection, at least for the time while it's here.
But if everything is available for sale,
the stuff that I buy for the express intent to sell, that's not part of the collection. That's part of the inventory. Okay. If I buy something just to resell it, that's the inventory. If I buy something to enjoy and then sell at a later date, I would think that could be construed as both. Why don't you see it that way?
I don't know. I have a hard time reconciling the idea that you work to attain certain things and like you're willing to break up the set kind of a thing.
Let me put it like this. For a long time, I didn't have to sell anything. It was just easier to finance future purchases by selling what I had. So I didn't have to withdraw any excess money out of my bank account, any of my paycheck that was going towards bills and whatnot. There were, however, times where I felt like I had to sell things just to make ends meet.
I get that too.
Yeah. Case in point, the guitar that was gifted to me that I sold right before Henry was born and then spent 4 years chasing. That was fun. Not really, but
Let's say that you collect coffee mugs.
Oh, I certainly do.
Let's say you collect coffee mugs, right? Like you...
Attic's full of them.
Every time you go on a trip somewhere, right? You go to a different state or a different, people collect from state parks and stuff like that. Let's say every time you go to a different state, you have to get a coffee mug from that state, right? Now, you are contributing to a collection by doing that. But if you were to find out 10 years after you got Colorado that all of a sudden this mug is worth like, you paid $20 for it and all of a sudden it's worth 50 and you're like, well, hot damn, I'm going to sell this mug. It's like, why would you do that if you have worked so hard to collect these things?
Let's use a real world example.
What's your real world example?
The fact that I have a collection of black guy coffee mugs. Let me repeat that. Black guy coffee mugs.
You don't have a collection.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, because you did not collect them.
Sure, I did.
No, you didn't. They were all gifts.
Right, which means I can't get rid of them. I can't sell them.
Well, you could.
No.
You have a sentimental attachment to every single one of them.
Because they were gifts from...
Because they were gifts, yes. But you did not actively collect them. Now, it would be construed a collection because of the sentiment attached to them. But, this is sort of like,
Let me tell the story.
Okay, go for it.
So, it was, I want to say Christmas, either 2009 or 10. And for some reason, I was in a big Lou Rawls phase. Like, I think I'd been watching a lot of Garfield at the time. I was going to say,
I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's that much of a stretch to understand why.
But I went through a phase where I was just like, I wanted nothing but his music. Like, I wanted his actual, like, albums and stuff. I didn't want to just listen to Garfield tunes. I wanted to get to know him a little bit better. And so that Christmas, one of those Christmases, Mark gifted me a whole bunch of Lou Rawls stuff. He got, actually, it might have even been later than that. He got me a mug. He got me a DVD. He got me a CD. He got me a printed T-shirt with what looked like his mugshot. But, I mean, what would you arrest Lou Rawls for? He's Groovy People. And so that was it. I just had this mug that I drank my coffee, and we still do, with Lou Rawls' face on it.
Mm-hmm.
Next Christmas, Mark just took it upon himself to gift me a mug with, I think it was Red Fox.
Okay.
No, the next year it was Bob Ross. The year after was Red Fox. So Bob Ross kind of broke
Bob Ross is not black.
I know. But there was Red Fox, and then as the years went by, they just kept coming. And I didn't ask for them. I would just like kind of like jokingly be like, so who am I getting this year? And he's like, oh, I don't know. We'll have to think. But it inevitably led to Red Fox and Morgan Freeman and Scatman Crothers. And
I haven't seen the Scatman Crothers one.
It's a big one. That's an ice cream mug.
Yeah, it's Danny Glover.
No, yep, Danny Glover.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one more I'm missing. I'm still waiting on Sam Jackson.
I don't know what the actor's name, the one who passed away from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But he gave you that, I remember.
He did?
Yeah, I don't remember what his name was.
Oh,
sorry,
the guy who played the older black guy who played the cop. Okay, yeah.
I don't know what his name. I apologize because I don't know what his name. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've never seen the show.
I also don't know where that mug is.
I think it's in the attic.
It's somewhere.
Or it's in the back of the cabinet. I don't know. We only have so much space.
Yeah. Well, it's because we
only have so much space for things.
You want to talk about collections? Mugs are like T-shirts. Eventually, people start like just habitually gifting you things like mugs and T-shirts, and then you run out of room, and it's just like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah. That's when you have to bite the bullet.
It's like, say, stop sending me mugs and T-shirts,
or just get rid of some stuff. Like, it's okay to get rid of something that someone gave you. It's okay.
I'm content with Red Fox, Morgan Freeman, especially Morgan Freeman, and Lou Rawls. Okay.
I mean,
Sam Jackson would be a nice addition, but other than that, don't really need. I mean, I have enough black guys. Okay.
I mean, in all fairness, like, what's his face gave me that Zelda mug that I ruined in the dishwasher, and that was just the universe saying, "You don't need this."
Yeah.
So, shit. But I don't know. But
I can't get rid of those.
See, but I don't know that anything that I have collected, like truly collected, right? Over the years of my life. I don't think that those are the things that to me, because it's a collection, I won't break it up. I won't get rid of any of that stuff.
Would you concur that art is subjective?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, at least to me, the things I collect are art in my mind because, especially guitars are works of art because they're crafted from,
I agree.
Materials.
I agree.
Not so much trading cards because they're printed and they're mass produced, but it's not really about the card itself. It's more the image, which was artwork at some point.
Well, it's still artwork.
Right. But, you know, I mean, like...
A reproduction is still a piece of art.
So when I is it amassed or remassed? What's the proper...
I don't know what you're talking about. Put it in context.
If you're going to... Like, if I amassed a collection or...
Yes.
Amassed or massed?
Amassed.
Amassed. Okay. When I amassed my Pokemon collection,
okay,
I didn't care what condition the cards were in. I didn't care if they were damaged, mint, whatever. I wanted each of these cards from their respective sets for the artwork solely. I didn't care if they were in Japanese, German, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever. I just needed copies with the artwork because these were designed. It was for me, it was purposely to go in a binder for viewing purposes. Mm-hmm. And they sit in the drawer behind me.
Now that to me is a collection.
It is a collection.
That is a collection.
However, though, if I don't get buried with those are going up for sale because those still retain quite a bit of value. And as a matter of fact, a lot of them have risen in value since I bought them back.
See, but...
Now, no, because again, if I don't get buried with them, I want you or the kids selling them or keeping them to admire. Because if you sell them, what if you need money someday?
Well, what if we would rather hang on to them because it's something you collected?
Because let's be real, I have too much stuff for you guys to hang on to.
Well, yeah.
Look at my parents. They had too much stuff for us to hang on to.
I mean, quite frankly, if I hang on to it, it'll just be their problem one day anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I would honestly like to, you know, get rid of as much stuff as possible so you don't have to go through that like we had to go through with my parents. But if you guys want, I mean, because the other thing too is I'm the expert when it comes to these things. I will be able to get maximum value because you guys haven't done all the research that I've done.
Nobody said we wouldn't. We're able to do the research.
It's more of a daunting task than I think you guys are willing to
okay, so
undertake.
If I go first, are you going to look up the values of all of my first editions?
That depends.
Or are you just going to give them to a library somewhere?
It depends. Well, who says I won't keep them?
Yeah, okay.
I'm certainly going to keep the ones I gave you. Because that right there. So when people in my life have passed on, I have kept things that I gave them because it reminds me of those moments. So, for example, the deck of cards I made Dad for his 80th birthday, that's in the cabinet with the other cards. The Pee-wee's reward sign I gave John for his birthday one year, that's hanging on the wall over there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's only so much stuff we can hang on to.
Now, let me turn a corner for a second.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me ask you this.
That's a collection in itself.
Let me ask you this about collectibles. Okay? What is your take on the idea of not being allowed to touch them?
I think everybody should be allowed to touch them.
Thank you. I personally, I get it. And I get it because, again, it goes to a person's mindset of the whole idea that, like, oh, well, we can't decrease the value of it. And I'm like, where is the joy in collecting something that you cannot make a part of your life?
So we were blessed with a child that will not touch anything without, you know, asking first, or will not even ask, you know, can't say the same of his older brother, but
he's on medication. It's fine. He's good now.
Yeah. But, you know, years ago it was a different story. But Henry will not touch anything of ours, you know, without asking first, which is great. But there was a lot of things growing up that, you know, we either had to ask permission to examine or we're not allowed to touch, period. But, you know, I mean, I've willingly put things in front of him and be like, yeah, go ahead, play with it.
I'm not talking about that, though. I'm not talking about
what
that.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about the idea of collectors who, you know, won't take things out of the packaging, or who won't, or who say that, you know, like, well, you have to leave it in the package, otherwise its value decreases. And it's just like, but where is the joy in having it?
Well, I mean, you've seen me take certain collectibles out of their boxes and play around with them for a minute. It's just like, personally, I don't really want to leave everything, not everything, out of their boxes because, dust and dander, and we got pet hair all throughout the house. And, plus, as I said, especially with the pops, keeping them in their boxes makes them more easily storable.
Fair.
I mean, look at my bookshelf.
Yeah, but you can't see them well.
I've got
when
pops
they're
to
in
this.
the box.
Yeah, but I've rearranged the things on my bookshelf throughout the year. I mean, you know that. And I've got pops to the ceiling.
Well, you've only got like 5 of them.
I've got a lot more than 5.
You do?
Yes. I've got like probably 20. All right, maybe not 20.
I was going to say, I don't think so.
I've got somewhere between 10 and 20. But I never wanted to collect pops. Like when that craze started, people would gift them to me. And I'm like, okay, these like 3 that I have is like all I'm going to have. But then I started getting gifted more. And then I started seeing ones. I'm like, I wouldn't mind having that too to complete, the, not the collection, but like it goes with the other ones that I have,
Like when collecting pops was the thing, people lost their minds at me. They lost their fucking shit all over me because I took that shit out of the box and I played with it.
And I'm looking at a whole bunch of them right now.
And all of the ones upstairs, they're all out of the boxes.
It's funny.
Just like, what?
Every single time I go to Newberry Comics, I immediately go to the Stranger Things pops. And I'm like, all right, where's a Steve that she doesn't have?
Well, there will be the only 2 that I don't have are the Comic-Con exclusives.
Yeah, those are pretty pennies.
At this point. Those are a little expensive. But those would complete my collection.
Let me ask you this. What is the most expensive collectible you own?
Oh, boy. That's a good question. I don't know.
What is the most
offhand? I don't know.
All right, let's shift gears here. What is the you don't have to say how much you spent on it, but what is the most expensive thing you've ever bought for yourself? Not gifted, but bought for yourself.
That I bought for myself.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough because there are things that there are collectibles that I've bought. I haven't really bought myself expensive collectibles. I've purchased expensive collectibles for others because I already had them.
But I want to know what is most important to you in the realm of collectibles.
First editions.
First edition what?
First edition books. There are, you talk about your chases and stuff like that.
You mean like the one I got you?
Yes. There are chases because
that wasn't a first edition though, right?
Yes, it was.
The one I got you is a first edition.
Yes, it is.
Really?
So here's the deal with that, is that the reason why that cover is different is because it was not sanctioned, if you will, to be printed in the US. The publishers were like, we're not going to print this. So we took it to another publisher and they were like, all right, well, we'll put it out in paperback.
Well, tell them what it is.
Well, it's American Psycho.
Yeah, they don't know that.
But it did get a hard copy printed in the UK. So you got me a first UK printing. Thanks.
You're welcome.
But I had paperbacks of all of Ellis's other books and everything. And I was like, well, I need the first edition.
The funny thing is,
I went ahead and I found them.
You had been talking about that right before your birthday that year.
Because I had first editions of all of his other books at that point. And I'm like, there is none. There is no first US hard copy.
Now there's a whole that ties in with what we're talking about, is the fact that I remember buying that thing. I remember looking at it and trying to make sure it was the right one and everything. And for the life of me, I could not see in it what you do, and probably never will, because I can appreciate the desire for books in the same vein as my desire for guitars and trading cards. But to me, putting that price tag on that book, I feel the same way about it as the way people feel about when I tell them what I've spent on trading cards.
But
Yeah.
okay, so what is the most that you have ever spent on a trading card?
I think around $750
For a single card?
So I have one card that not only I think.
I have a little tap dancer upstairs.
Yeah, no, this is the one I most recently bought. I bought it and I had it graded.
Okay.
Because that adds to the value.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was from my collection because I always wanted one of those.
See, and that's a collectible.
And it's sitting on the bookshelf right now with all my other
paraphernalia. Is that available for sale?
Not currently. That is something that is something that would be for sale, like if we were in dire straits, or if I'm gone and you and the kids were going to sell it. Other than that, no, that is for me to admire.
Okay.
Now, I can comfortably say that yes, I spent around $750 on a single card because, and this is something that people have never understood. I've spent $500 more than once on a single card because I bought 3 $500 cards around the same time in 2021.
Yeah.
And so I spent about $1,500 total. And about 2 to 3 years later, I sold those 3 cards because I had them, I admired them, I even played with them. And I sold the 3 as a set for, ready? $2,000.
Okay.
And every time I tell that story, people are like, that's amazing. Like, what the, who would pay that? And blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, listen, I studied the market. I kept my eye on trends. And I knew how to negotiate, not only when I purchased them, but when I sold them. And I feel confident telling the story because I can understand why people would think it's ridiculous to pay $500 for a piece of cardboard.
I don't think it's ridiculous to pay $500 for a piece of cardboard. I think it's sad that you sold them.
If I want another one, I can get one.
We can always get more.
And in fact, I did get more. And I paid less than $500.
I have that glass bowl that I have made a stink over since the day I came here. Yes?
Yes.
I got that at an auction. That was a hand-blown piece of glass sculpture that everyone over the last, it's 2025. So it's been 15 years, maybe? Maybe a little more than that. That I have dealt with people trying to put their keys in it, that I have seen people try and, just put, hats and mittens and tchotchkes and junk mail and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck, people? I'm like, this is literally a piece of art. I paid about $300 for that piece. Okay. That is probably the most that I have ever actually paid for a piece of art. Is it? Yeah. That's the most that I have ever paid for a piece of physical, tangible art. Not like body art or anything like that. And that is something that I don't think that I would consider myself an art collector, but that is one of the things that I was like, I must have this. I must have this. I saw it. I was touched by it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I was just like, I must own this. Now, do I believe for one hot second, because it's not by, to my knowledge, any name artist or anyone that people really know or anything like that. It was just a beautiful piece that I wanted to have, and I was willing to spend the money on it so that it would make me happy. And it has for years to come. And that's why every time I hear something hit it, that clang, I freak out. And I'm just like,
that's why I don't go over there anymore.
I'm like, literally, like I put it on the piano so that no one could touch it anymore.
So at one point, I felt like I was in dire straits.
Yeah.
Hence why I was, selling off my guitars my guitar collection left and right.
I got to that point with my jewelry one time.
And then you found your watch.
And then I found it.
After I bought you a new one.
I didn't know that I didn't sell it.
Well, now you have two. And I can't even believe this actually happened. But so when John died, he had about like a dozen or so guitars.
Mhm.
Not many of them were really worth anything, but a couple were. But I kept the one that I kept was the one that I damaged when I was younger, because I said, this was important to him. I don't want this out in the world. This needs to stay in the family, because after I'm gone, hopefully the kids will appreciate it and whatever.
Yeah.
But at one point when, I was on hard times, I put it up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, offers were coming in, and it was worth, a couple thousand. But then I got an offer from Jason Hook. Jason Hook was or is still the lead guitar player for Five Finger Death Punch. And Five Finger Death Punch was, pretty popular at one time. I mean, I was a fan when their first couple albums came out. I like his playing. Songwriting aside, I like his playing. And he's a big collector of that model.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw it through his personal eBay account, and he started punching in offers. And I'm just like, and he kept going up and up and up and up and up, and finally tacked on a whole extra 1,000. And I'm just like, I can't do it. But then he said to me, and this has colored my opinion of the guy ever since. He goes, "Wouldn't you feel better knowing your brother's guitar would be seen and played around the world and seen by millions?" And in that moment, I'm just like, all right, pal, you're not that big.
Well.
And so I took the listing down, and I kept it, and I still have it to this day. And I never have
done that with my watch.
Any intention of selling it. It's even gone up an extra $2,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that particular one is rare. Not only because of the series it's from, but because of the way it was made. But I don't care what it's worth, because it's never leaving this house.
But you take it out every now and again.
Yeah, because I like the millions in the world to see it in my hands.
No, not even like taking it out of the house, but you at least take it out of the case and you play it and you fiddle with it and stuff like that. Like, you've done that.
I do it to honor my brother's memory, because this was important to him. And despite damaging it, I, at one point, bought him a replica, which was also pretty expensive, brand new. And he never touched that. He took the replica. He's like, "Why would you do this?" And I'm like, "Because I ruined your other one and I wanted to pay you back." And I think by the time he even told me, he's just like, "I've taken that thing out of the case maybe twice."
Yeah.
Because he didn't want anything happening to it.
See, that kills me sometimes. It really does. Like, I understand that, like, use will devalue certain things and everything like that. I get it. But, it's like you bought me those shoes. Now, some people might say, "Oh, I'm only going to wear those on special occasions." I wear them every fucking chance I get.
Right.
Because I'm like,
you paid all that money.
I'm getting our money's worth for these motherfuckers.
See, I've always been so hesitant whether it's expensive cards or expensive guitars or expensive anything, like even brand new shoes or a brand new car or brand new brakes on the car.
Yes.
It's like I feather everything, because it's just like, but eventually you have to break things in, because, you can't feather everything.
Even if I had to do the white glove treatment, right? If I were to ever be able to afford a first edition of like a Dickens novel, right? I'd still touch it. I'd still touch it. Even if I had to do the white glove thing, I would still fucking touch it.
As ridiculous as this may sound, even right down to my everyday t-shirts, because they're so crisp when they come in the package brand new, and it's just like, because I know that I'm not gonna wash or dry them to the point where they're folded and no creases and nothing and everything, but it's like eventually, and when they get holes and wear out, it's like, but these were so comfortable and so pristine, and now they're not. But
they served their purpose and you got joy out of them. Like, that's the fucking point to me. the idea of hanging on to it in pristine form and everything is just like
this. My That Talking podcast, monogram hoodie. I wanted to keep in pristine condition for going out and advertising and repping the brand. But it's already got holes in it.
It's got holes and tears.
I'll tell you what. When it came time to sell off John's guitars, I had a big choice to make. It was, do I keep the replica I got him and the original, or do I sell the replica? Or do I sell both? Or do I sell the original and keep the replica? Eventually, I settled on selling the replica because it's just like, I have no attachment to this. All this was me trying to pay him back. Yeah. And it's like, if anything, I have to keep the original.
I believe that, the purpose of a collection, the purpose of a collection is to admire it, And I know that sometimes you go into the closet and you look at all of the product that you have and everything like that, and you do admire it. Yeah. But I don't think that you attach the same sentimentality to those things as you do to like your graded card and things like that. The things that you've chased for so long, that you wanted for so long,
Like, okay, this essentially started because we were talking about my guitar collection this morning and the list that I've compiled over the years. And the math we did on how many were new versus how many used.
Right.
The one hanging over my left shoulder right now, the one I acquired last week, I've told this story to so many people in the past couple of days. It's like I willfully avoided that brand for many, many years because I knew so many people that had them. And they weren't as aesthetically pleasing as some of my other ones. It's just like, there's no attachment there. I can't put that thing down.
Yes, but
it's practicality and functionality are making it sentimental to me,
which is fantastic.
And it wasn't even that expensive.
If you rewind that story just a little bit, you will encounter the prologue that started with, I've never been a big fan of Telecasters, but I really wanted this one. And then, what did you do?
I traded the Telecaster for that.
When?
2 days later.
2 days later. 2 days later. 2 hours after you brought that thing into this house, I said, are you happy? And you said, eh.
That isn't to say I won't get another Telecaster. I was sending you pictures of Telecasters today.
You sent me pictures of the entire fucking store.
That's not true.
And I was just like, every time another picture came through, I'm like, oh my God.
Listen.
I'm like, just buy one.
That's none of them were as nice as that one, the one over my shoulder. Because I like going into music stores and toying around because now I'm in a position where I could take one home if I wanted to. Do you know how many times I went? It's probably the equivalent of you going to jewelry stores or places of that ilk or Pottery Barn or something like that. And it's just like, so many times between the years of 1995 and I don't know, 2012 or 2013 when I, got a real job and, went into these stores only to, admire from afar and not be able to take home because I was on a budget. If that, if you look at that list, there are dates attached to those numbers on the list.
I know.
There were some years where I was either buying tons of really cheap ones or not buying any at all. And just going into stores and being like, oh man, I wish I could take that home.
Yeah.
And the thing is now I can take these things home. But, that takes away from the value because, just because I can buy one doesn't mean I should.
You're about the chase.
I love the chase.
You do. You love the chase.
Let me say the chase is better than the catch.
I love the catch. I love the catch too. I got these books yesterday at a flea market. I feel bad for the people who sold it to me. They're not worth a ton of money, but I mean, these books are almost 200 years old at this point, and they are in fine condition. They're barely even dirty. And I got them for $10. I got them for $10. $5 each I paid for these books. And I am astounded that, these people they could have easily asked $100.
Rhodey and I were talking about this earlier tonight, and I told him what I've been doing lately, and it's that, there's in 30 years I've owned 89 30 years. In 30 years I've owned 89 guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Now that doesn't mean there's 89 in this house right now. There's probably like a quarter of that, if that. But what to make sure that they all get their fair share, I started rotating them out. So I take a couple, I keep them out in the open, so that way I see them, I can pick them up, I can play them. And then a couple of weeks or months go by, I put those back in the closet, I take a few others out, and that way they get rotated.
First you take them out, put them in the back. Boom, boom. That's all that's in my head right now. It's constant. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna?
Because they're
talking, and something popped into my. It's gone. Wow, the brain fog is really strong with me these days. Thanks, menopause. This sucks. I was gonna say something and I don't remember what.
There's an acoustic over there that Dad actually won me in an auction, which it's not a really great guitar, but it's the memory that matters.
Yeah.
And I didn't really start. I can count on one hand the amount of times I even touched the thing before Dad died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then after he died, I was playing it pretty regularly. It still needs some work, but I can't get rid of that thing now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think about the things that like my mother has collected: Swarovski crystal figurines, snow globes, and stuff like that. And I mean, she's gotten rid of a lot of stuff over the years because my sister and I specifically are like, what will we do with all of this one day? And she's sort of squirreled it down to the point at this point, but I think that's where I got the collecting bug, where it was like, what do I want to collect?
There's also another
I collect bones.
I'm sure I can't be the only one, but I'm
the bone collector.
This crosses my mind quite a bit, and it's that a lot of things that I hang on to are also things that were of importance to other people, and like John's guitar, for example, and other things of his or things that belong to my family. Because once they're like, if I knew that these, and I do to a degree, but if I knew how important these things were to these people while they were alive, it's like, in my mind, I have to keep them, in case they come back for them. Not really, but like, it's just, I can't let them go out into the world because, I'm afraid they'll wind up in a dumpster or they'll get,
No, I get it.
They'll get ignored or whatever it is. And it's just like, like so much stuff that was in Dad's house and our old house, I would look at all these things and like, I know how important those things were to these people. It's like, I can't just let that go to Goodwill. I can't let that go to a dumpster. Like, I just can't because I remember what it meant to somebody.
The sentiment is strong, and when the sentiment is strong, I like to think that that's the part that lives on, even if it's not sentimental to you, because it was sentimental to someone who meant something to you. That's where it memory locks.
There are certain things that belong to family members of mine that actually meant more to me than they meant to them. Like there are things of Dad's that I hung on to that, I'm sure he couldn't, didn't really care all that much about, but it's like, but it meant something to me because I remember, when he got these things and how often he used them and when he took them out and this and that and the other thing. It's like, they're a constant reminder of like my upbringing because all those times that, I saw this person and that item.
And those are the things that I think those are the significant things.
Yeah. Like, do you know how hard it was to let Shorty's leash go when we donated all that pet stuff to animal welfare?
I have all of Banky's things.
I kept Charlie's food dishes right over there.
There is an ottoman upstairs that is literally, it's a storage. It's storage inside, and it is full.
But
of Banky's
is
things.
There a fine line though? Like, do you have to draw the line at some point? Because I know some people believe that, but it's just like, at what point does it get ridiculous, or does it not get ridiculous?
I think that it's subjective, of course, but I think that everyone needs to be okay drawing a line at some point. Like, you know, like come decades from now when Sadie is no longer with us, you know, will I donate her diapers? Yes.
Because some other dog could use them.
But like, will I donate her hoodie? No, absolutely
That's getting
not.
mounted to the wall.
Exactly. I'm like, absolutely not. I will not get rid of the toys that she came with when I adopted her, even though she's never played with them ever.
So when I was 5 years old, Mom got me the set of 5 Power Ranger 8-inch action figures, the ones that are on the bookshelf right now. And she got herself a set that she kept in the box, stuck it in the closet with all her Barbies. She's like, these are going to be worth money someday. They have all increased, not by much, but they've increased in value. But the thing is that, like, you know, when she died, I'm like, I'm taking these because she bought these because of my interest. And when I saw what they were going for, I'm like, it's way more worth it to me to hold on to them for the sake of the fact that she bought these with the intent of holding on to them. Yeah. Like, you know, so even though I have my set on display out of the box, mind you, you know, I also have her set on display because that takes me back to that moment in 1993 at KB Toys in Sandhill Plaza. Yeah. For those who remember. I tried getting a job there when I was like 16 and the guy was like, "Oh, you're a jack of all trades, eh?" I probably lied on that fucking application just to get a job.
Odd.
And then it turned into a liquor store. So,
and now we can all collect from there. That's a good idea. Let's all get loaded.
This is a good time.
This was a fun one, you know. And I don't begrudge anyone for, you know, investing in these kinds of things. But, you know, I mean, there are plenty of people out there who fill their homes with nothing but collectibles in the package because it's like, you know, because of the worth. And it's just like, honey, eventually you are going to need money
or space
one or the other. But, you know, to each their own, find your joy. Absolutely. You know, mazel to all of you. This was a good one. Thank you out there in podcast land for listening. We had a blast. Thank you to everyone who came to Dead Language Brewing to see Tax Collectors and Harlots. And
that was a big show.
It was a big show. And thank you to everyone who went out to Coat of Arms Tattoo for the Halloween Flash event and to see the strangers. That was a fun fun time.
That was a show.
That was a fun time. And you now have...
I like how they opened with the Munsters.
Yeah, right? And you now have another one coming up.
Saturday. At the Conti Building in Shelton, Connecticut.
At the what?
The CONTI, Conti Building.
That's a thing?
It's a thing.
Sounds like somewhere a magazine
just type it into your GPS. I'm sure it'll show up.
Is that a bar?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I think we might be squatting in an empty warehouse. Anyway,
God.
There are 4 bands playing, including us. I think doors are at 6. Come hang out. Shelton's only about an hour from here. Can't ride with us though.
No. Yes. So do that. Find us on Instagram, all of us.
Everybody.
DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's. Tax Collectors and Harlots. Love Hard Art. Coat of Arms Tattoo. And welcome Jen to the team. I'm glad to see, you know, another lady.
I'm off this week. If you guys want to hang out, hit me up.
No, this is our vacation. I get you this week.
You have to finish those decks first.
I'm going to finish this.
You have to finish your homework.
I have to finish my homework and I'm going to finish it tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
we'll see about that.
What is that, a challenge? Did you see
how
far I got with it today?
I was offering an open invitation to our listeners, you know.
Well, don't come here.
So welcoming.
But yeah, not in my house. But thank you again. Be excellent to each other. And that's a full lid from the 3 of us at the Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we'll talk to you later.